Question 1. Which of the following is not a typical coverage type in a commercial property insurance policy? A. Building coverage. B. Business personal property coverage. C. Personal property of others coverage. D. Cyber liability coverage. Answer: D. Cyber liability coverage. Explanation: commercial property insurance generally covers three types of property. Building coverage, the physical structure of the insured building. Business personal property coverage, the property used in business operations such as furniture and equipment. And personal property of others coverage, property belonging to others but in the possession of the insured. Cyber liability is not a part of the commercial property insurance policy. It is typically covered under separate cyber liability insurance policies. Cyber insurance addresses data breaches and related cyber risks, which is outside the scope of a standard commercial property policy. Question 2. Mr. Johnson owns a small restaurant in Phoenix, Arizona. His business is covered under a commercial property policy (CPP). Recently, a fire caused significant damage to the building and destroyed the business's property. After the fire, Mr. Johnson continues to pay for the employees' salaries during the restoration of the business. Which of the following would be the most appropriate coverage under his CPP policy to cover the employees' salaries during the restoration period? A. Business interruption coverage. B. Property damage coverage. C. Employee dishonesty coverage. D. Extra expense coverage. Answer: A. Business interruption coverage. Explanation: in a commercial property policy, business interruption coverage provides protection against loss of income during a period when the business cannot operate due to covered perils such as fire or other property damage. It covers things like lost income, extra expenses, and continued payroll. Extra expense coverage can also apply, but is specifically for additional costs incurred to continue operations, not for the regular payroll during a shutdown period. Property damage coverage addresses physical damage to the building and property but does not cover income loss. Employee dishonesty coverage is unrelated to the situation as it pertains to fraud or theft by employees. Question 3. Which of the following is the primary difference between a replacement cost and an actual cash value in the context of commercial property insurance valuation? A. Replacement cost is the cost to replace the property at its current market value, while actual cash value is the cost to replace the property minus depreciation. B. Replacement cost includes depreciation, while actual cash value is the cost to replace the property at its current market value. C. Replacement cost is used for buildings only and actual cash value applies to personal property only. D. Replacement cost is only applicable to business income coverage, while actual cash value is applied to physical property coverage. Answer: A. Replacement cost is the cost to replace the property at its current market value, while actual cash value is the cost to replace the property minus depreciation. Explanation: the key difference between replacement cost and actual cash value (CV) is how depreciation is handled. Replacement cost covers the full cost of replacing the property with a similar item at current market prices, without accounting for depreciation. On the other hand, actual cash value includes depreciation, meaning that the payout is based on the replacement cost minus the depreciation of the property at the time of loss. The other options are incorrect as they misinterpret how these valuation methods work or misapply them to specific coverage types. Question 4. Which of the following types of damages would commercial general liability (CGL) insurance typically cover? A. Intentional injury caused by an employee. B. Personal injury due to defamation. C. Professional errors made by an architect. D. Property damage caused by a company's product while being used correctly. Answer: B. Personal injury due to defamation. Explanation: commercial general liability (CGL) insurance typically covers damages arising from bodily injury and property damage caused by the insured's business operations. Personal injury is part of the CGL policy and includes damages from actions such as defamation, libel, slander, and false arrest. Intentional injury and professional errors, such as mistakes made by an architect, are generally excluded from CGL coverage and would need separate coverage, such as workers' compensation or professional liability insurance. Property damage caused by a company's product is also covered under CGL, but only if the product causes damage in a way that falls under general liability provisions. Question 5. In which of the following situations would commercial auto insurance most likely be required? A. An employee driving a personal vehicle to a client meeting. B. A business transporting goods to another company using a company-owned truck. C. A business owner using their personal vehicle to deliver products to customers. D. A business using a rented van for a one-time promotional event. Answer: B. A business transporting goods to another company using a company-owned truck. Explanation: commercial auto insurance is necessary for vehicles that are owned by a business and used for business purposes, such as transporting goods or employees. In scenario B, the business is transporting goods using a company-owned truck, making commercial auto insurance the appropriate coverage. Personal auto insurance typically does not cover the vehicle if it is used for business purposes. Scenario A involves personal use of a vehicle, and scenario C involves a personal vehicle, which would require separate endorsement or commercial auto policy if used for business. Scenario D involves a rented vehicle, which may require specific rental vehicle insurance, but it's not necessarily part of a commercial auto policy unless specifically arranged. Question 6. Mr. Anderson is the owner of a local convenience store and is purchasing a business owner's policy BOP. His store includes both a retail area and an attached office. He is concerned about the potential for flooding during a heavy storm. What should Mr. Anderson consider adding to his BOP to protect his property from flooding? A. Flood endorsement. B. Business interruption coverage. C. Earthquake endorsement. D. Employee dishonesty coverage. Answer: A. Flood endorsement. Explanation: a business owner's policy BOP typically includes property and liability coverage, but it excludes flood damage. To protect against flooding, Mr. Anderson should add a flood endorsement to his BOP. This endorsement provides coverage for property damage resulting from flooding, which is not covered under standard property policies. Business interruption coverage covers income loss during a disruption, but it would not cover property damage due to flooding. Earthquake endorsement is specific to earthquake-related damages, not flooding, and employee dishonesty coverage deals with internal theft by employees, not natural disasters. Question 7. Which of the following statements about workers' compensation insurance is accurate? A. Workers' compensation covers only medical expenses for employees who are injured at work. B. Workers' compensation insurance covers both medical costs and lost wages for employees who are injured or become ill due to work-related duties. C. Workers' compensation only applies to injuries caused by accidents on the business premises. D. Workers' compensation insurance is optional for employers in most states. Answer: B. Workers' compensation insurance covers both medical costs and lost wages for employees who are injured or become ill due to work-related duties. Explanation: workers' compensation insurance provides coverage for employees who are injured or become ill while performing work-related duties, covering both medical expenses and lost wages. It ensures that employees receive compensation for workplace injuries or illnesses without the need for litigation. Workers' compensation does not limit coverage to injuries occurring on the business premises. It applies to any injury or illness related to work. Additionally, workers' compensation is mandatory in most states, including Arizona, for employers with a certain number of employees and not optional. Question 8. A commercial crime insurance policy offers coverage for which of the following situations? A. Loss of business income due to the interruption of a business. B. Employee theft of cash or securities. C. Property damage to a company's building. D. Liability for injury caused by a product manufactured by the business. Answer: B. Employee theft of cash or securities. Explanation: commercial crime insurance provides coverage for losses due to criminal activities such as employee theft, including theft of cash, securities, and other property. It also covers situations like forgery, robbery, and theft by outsiders. Business income loss and property damage are covered under different types of insurance, such as business interruption coverage for income loss and commercial property insurance for property damage. Product liability is generally covered under commercial general liability (CGL) insurance, not crime insurance. Question 9. What is the primary purpose of reinsurance in commercial insurance? A. To transfer some of the risks from the insurer to a third-party insurer. B. To reduce the premiums paid by the policyholder. C. To provide additional coverage for small business owners. D. To cover claims made against the insurer by policyholders. Answer: A. To transfer some of the risks from the insurer to a third-party insurer. Explanation: reinsurance is used by insurance companies to transfer some of the risks they assume to another insurer called the reinsurer. This helps to limit the financial exposure of the primary insurer. Reinsurance can come in two types: facultative for individual policies and treaty for entire portfolios of policies. It is not designed to reduce the premiums for policyholders directly or to provide coverage for policyholder claims, but rather to provide financial security for insurers, especially in cases of large or catastrophic claims. Small business owners may benefit from the coverage indirectly, but reinsurance primarily deals with the insurer's risk management. Question 10. Which of the following statements is true regarding the coinsurance clause in commercial property insurance? A. The coinsurance clause requires the insured to maintain coverage equal to at least 50% of the property's value. B. The coinsurance clause applies only if the insured's property exceeds $500,000 in value. C. The coinsurance clause encourages the insured to carry a certain percentage of the property's replacement cost or face a penalty on claims. D. The coinsurance clause is applied only when there is a partial loss, not a total loss. Answer. C. The coinsurance clause encourages the insured to carry a certain percentage of the property's replacement cost or face a penalty on claims. Explanation. The coinsurance clause in commercial property insurance requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a specified percentage, often 80%, 90%, or 100% of the property's replacement cost. If the insured does not maintain the required coverage, they may face a penalty on claims, meaning the insurer will reduce the payout based on the ratio of coverage carried to the required amount. The clause is designed to encourage policyholders to maintain adequate coverage. It applies to both partial and total losses, not just partial losses. The statement in option is incorrect as the required percentage is usually higher than 50% and it does not specifically apply only to properties over $500,000. Question 11. Which of the following is not a typical exclusion under a commercial general liability CGL policy? A. Damage caused by the business's products. B. Bodily injury due to the use of machinery. C. Damage to the insured's own property. D. Liability for an injury caused by an employee during work hours. Answer. D. Liability for an injury caused by an employee during work hours. Explanation. A commercial general liability CGL policy generally covers bodily injury and property damage arising from business operations. Employee injuries during work hours are covered under workers' compensation insurance, not a CGL policy. The exclusions listed in options A, B, and C are typically covered by CGL policies. Damage to the insured's own property is generally excluded, but third-party property damage is covered. Product liability and bodily injury caused by machinery are often covered as long as they are not the result of negligence or intentional harm. Question 12. What type of insurance coverage would most likely be recommended for a small business that provides professional consulting services? A. Professional liability insurance. B. Commercial property insurance. C. Commercial auto insurance. D. Workers' compensation insurance. Answer. A. Professional liability insurance. Explanation. For a small business providing professional consulting services, the most appropriate coverage would be professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance. This insurance protects the business from claims of negligence, errors, or omissions that occur during the course of providing professional services. Commercial property insurance would be necessary if the business owns property, but it doesn't address professional mistakes. Commercial auto insurance and workers' compensation insurance are important if the business involves driving or has employees, but are not specifically focused on consulting services. Question 13. In the context of a business interruption insurance policy, which of the following would not be covered? A. Loss of income due to fire damage. B. Loss of income due to a supplier's failure to deliver materials. C. Loss of income due to damage from a natural disaster. D. Loss of income from customer cancellations during a slow season. Answer. D. Loss of income from customer cancellations during a slow season. Explanation. Business interruption insurance covers the loss of income that results from a covered peril that disrupts business operations, such as fire, natural disasters, or damage from a supplier failure. However, it would not cover losses due to economic conditions such as slow business seasons or customer cancellations. This type of coverage is intended for physical damage that results in the inability to operate, not for routine business fluctuations. Question 14. Which of the following is covered under business owner's policy? BOP. A. Employee injury during work hours. B. Damage to the owner's personal vehicle used for business purposes. C. Property damage to a rented office building. D. Loss of business income due to seasonal fluctuations. Answer. C. Property damage to a rented office building. Explanation. The business owner's policy BOP combines property and liability coverage for small businesses. Property damage to a rented office building is typically covered as long as the damage is caused by a covered event, such as fire, theft, or vandalism. Employee injuries are covered by workers' compensation insurance. Damage to the owner's personal vehicle used for business purposes would be covered by commercial auto insurance. Loss of income due to seasonal fluctuations is not typically covered by a BOP, but loss due to a covered peril like fire or storm is covered under business interruption insurance. Question 15. Which type of insurance would provide coverage for cyber attacks and data breaches? A. Commercial property insurance. B. General liability insurance. C. Cyber liability insurance. D. Workers' compensation insurance. Answer: C. Cyber liability insurance. Explanation: cyber liability insurance is designed to provide coverage for cyber attacks, data breaches, and other online threats that could compromise a business's sensitive data. It typically covers the costs of data recovery, notifying affected parties, and legal fees associated with breaches. Commercial property insurance covers physical assets, while general liability insurance focuses on bodily injury or property damage. Workers' compensation insurance covers employee injuries, but not cyber risks. Question 16. A business has a commercial property insurance policy with a $50,000 limit and a $1,000 deductible. If the business experiences a $20,000 loss due to fire damage, how much will the insurance company pay? A. $20,000. B. $19,000. C. $50,000. D. $21,000. Answer: B. $19,000. Explanation: the insurance company will subtract the $1,000 deductible from the total loss of $20,000, resulting in a payment of $19,000. The deductible is the amount the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurer covers the remaining loss. Question 17. Which of the following best describes umbrella insurance? A. A policy that covers personal property damage. B. A policy that provides additional liability coverage beyond other insurance policies. C. A policy that covers all types of vehicle accidents. D. A policy designed to cover only natural disasters. Answer: B. A policy that provides additional liability coverage beyond other insurance policies. Explanation: umbrella insurance provides extra liability coverage beyond the limits of existing homeowners, auto, or commercial insurance policies. It is designed to cover situations where the liability limits of other policies are exhausted. It does not cover personal property damage or only natural disasters. It provides coverage for a wide range of liability claims, including bodily injury, property damage, and certain lawsuits. Question 18. Which of the following would typically not be covered by a commercial property insurance policy? A. Fire damage to a store. B. Theft of inventory. C. Property damage caused by a plumbing leak. D. Employee injury caused by machinery. Answer: D. Employee injury caused by machinery. Explanation: commercial property insurance covers damage to business property such as buildings, inventory, and equipment due to events like fire, theft, or certain weather-related incidents. However, employee injury caused by machinery would be covered under workers' compensation insurance, not commercial property coverage. Question 19. Which of the following would not typically be covered under professional liability insurance? A. Negligence in providing advice. B. Legal defense costs for a claim of malpractice. C. Bodily injury resulting from faulty professional services. D. Error or omission in the performance of professional duties. Answer: C. Bodily injury resulting from faulty professional services. Explanation: professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance, covers claims arising from negligence, errors, or omissions in the professional services provided. This includes legal defense costs, malpractice claims, and claims related to mistakes in professional duties. However, bodily injury resulting from the professional services, such as injury from faulty device or equipment, would be covered under general liability insurance, not professional liability insurance. Question 20. What is the primary difference between general liability insurance and professional liability insurance? A. General liability insurance covers damages caused by mistakes, while professional liability insurance covers bodily injury. B. General liability insurance covers physical damage and bodily injury, while professional liability insurance covers errors and omissions. C. Professional liability insurance is more expensive than general liability insurance. D. General liability insurance covers legal defense costs for claims of negligence. Answer: B. General liability insurance covers physical damage and bodily injury, while professional liability insurance covers errors and omissions. Explanation: General liability insurance primarily covers physical damage and bodily injury caused by the business's operations or products. It also covers other common claims such as libel, slander, and advertising injury. Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance, covers claims arising from mistakes, negligence, or failure to deliver services as promised. It is focused on errors or omissions related to the professional services provided, rather than physical injury or property damage. Question 21. Which of the following would be excluded under general liability insurance policy? A. Damage to a customer's property. B. Injury caused by the insured's faulty product. C. Damage to the insured's own property. D. Bodily injury caused by the insured's employee. Answer: C. Damage to the insured's own property. Explanation: general liability insurance typically covers bodily injury and property damage caused to third parties such as customers or visitors. However, damage to the insured's own property is excluded from coverage. Injury caused by faulty products or an employee's actions would generally be covered if the policy applies to such events. Question 22. Which of the following best describes workers' compensation insurance? A. Covers only medical expenses for employees. B. Provides compensation for employee injuries regardless of fault. C. Covers the business owner's injuries. D. Covers employee injuries outside of work. Answer: B. Provides compensation for employee injuries regardless of fault. Explanation: workers' compensation insurance is a no-fault insurance that covers the medical expenses and lost wages of employees who are injured while working. It provides compensation regardless of who is at fault. It does not cover injuries that occur outside of work, nor does it cover the business owner's personal injuries. Question 23. Which of the following is not a typical coverage provided by a business owner's policy? A. Property damage. B. Loss of business income. C. Personal injury liability. D. Employee theft. Answer: D. Employee theft. Explanation: a business owner's policy (BOP) typically combines property insurance, liability insurance, and business interruption insurance. It covers things like property damage, loss of business income due to covered perils, and personal injury liability, e.g., defamation. However, employee theft is typically covered under a separate policy, such as fidelity or employee dishonesty insurance, not a BOP. Question 24. A business has a $1 million policy limit with a $5,000 deductible. The business suffers $3 million in damage from a fire. How much will the business receive from its insurer? A. $1 million. B. $2,995,000. C. $2 million. D. $3 million. Answer: B. $2,995,000. Explanation: the business has a policy limit of $1 million, which is the maximum amount the insurer will pay. The $5,000 deductible is subtracted from the total loss, so the business would receive $1 million. $5,000 equals $995,000. However, since the policy limit is $1 million, this is the maximum payout. Therefore, the business will receive $995,000 after the deductible. Question 25. Which of the following is true about flood insurance under a standard homeowners insurance policy? A. It automatically covers all types of flooding. B. It is typically included in a standard homeowners policy. C. It is required by law in all areas prone to flooding. D. It must be purchased as a separate policy. Answer: D. It must be purchased as a separate policy. Explanation: flood insurance is not typically included in a standard homeowners insurance policy. It must be purchased separately through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP) or from private insurers. Homeowners who live in flood-prone areas may be required to purchase flood insurance if they have a mortgage from a federally regulated or insured lender. Question 26. Which of the following is covered by a personal auto insurance policy? A. Damage to a rental car when traveling for business. B. Damage to a vehicle owned by a business. C. Injury sustained by a passenger in the vehicle during an accident. D. Damage caused by vandalism at a commercial property. Answer: C. Injury sustained by a passenger in the vehicle during an accident. Explanation: a personal auto insurance policy covers injuries to the insured passengers and damage to the insured vehicle. Injury to a passenger in the vehicle during an accident would be covered under the policy's bodily injury liability or personal injury protection. Damage to a rental car or a business vehicle would require separate coverage, such as rental car insurance or commercial auto insurance. Vandalism at a commercial property would be covered by commercial property insurance, not a personal auto policy. Question 27. What is the main difference between comprehensive coverage and collision coverage in an auto insurance policy? A. Comprehensive coverage covers vehicle damage caused by accidents, while collision covers non-accident damage. B. Collision coverage covers vehicle damage caused by accidents, while comprehensive covers damage from non-accident events. C. Collision coverage covers theft, while comprehensive covers fire damage. D. Comprehensive coverage is only for natural disasters, while collision covers all other events. Answer: B. Collision coverage covers vehicle damage caused by accidents, while comprehensive covers damage from non-accident events. Explanation: Collision coverage covers damage to a vehicle that occurs during a collision with another vehicle or object, regardless of who is at fault. Comprehensive coverage covers damage to a vehicle that occurs due to non-accident events, such as theft, vandalism, fire, hail, or fallen trees. Collision coverage applies to accident-related damage, while comprehensive covers other types of damage. Question 20. Which of the following would not be covered by a health insurance policy? A. Medical expenses for a surgery. B. Preventive care, such as vaccinations. C. Health care services related to a pre-existing condition. D. Expenses related to cosmetic surgery for appearance. Answer: D. Expenses related to cosmetic surgery for appearance. Explanation: Most health insurance policies cover essential medical services, including surgeries, preventive care, and treatment for pre-existing conditions. However, cosmetic surgery for appearance, non-medically necessary, is usually excluded unless it's deemed necessary for medical reasons, such as reconstructive surgery following an accident or illness. Question 29. Which of the following is true about term life insurance? A. It builds cash value over time. B. It provides coverage for a specific period of time. C. It is more expensive than whole life insurance. D. It provides lifelong coverage as long as premiums are paid. Answer: B. It provides coverage for a specific period of time. Explanation: Term life insurance provides coverage for a specific period, usually 10, 20, or 30 years, and does not build cash value. It is typically cheaper than whole life insurance, which provides permanent coverage and builds cash value over time. If the insured dies within the term period, the beneficiaries receive the death benefit. If the term expires, there is no payout. Question 30. What is the primary purpose of commercial auto insurance? A. To provide coverage for personal vehicles used for business purposes. B. To provide liability coverage for a business's property. C. To insure vehicles used by employees during their commute. D. To cover business assets and machinery. Answer: A. To provide coverage for personal vehicles used for business purposes. Explanation: Commercial auto insurance provides coverage for vehicles owned or used by a business for business-related purposes, including vehicles used by employees for work activities. It covers liability, property damage, and injury that occur during the course of business operations. It does not cover personal vehicles used for non-business related activities or business assets and machinery, which would be covered under different policies, such as property insurance.